Put your hands together for Nikola Ilchev.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Tirana, for the warm welcome. I have to tell you that your city is great. This is my second time here, but it was amazing that just last night when I was ironing my shirt, I somehow managed to damage it. And this morning at 7 o'clock, I found a shop, a fashion shop, open right nearby. I bought a new shirt, so I'm performing in my new shirt. So thank you, Tirana, for welcoming me. In my intro, you heard that I'm an e-commerce guy, but actually I decided not to speak about e-commerce today. How many of you are working? I'm starting and I'm finishing my presentation with a question. How many of you are working in the field which they feel passionate about and their passion is into? All right. Oh, great amount of people. So maybe I should switch to e-commerce topics or something like this. Well, I didn't expect that. I thought I decided to pick that topic because when I had a conversation with the guys from AllWeb, they told me, Nikola, you are coming from a country similar to Albania, like size-wise, small market surrounded by other big markets, and you did something very interesting with the regional impact and actually with the global aim. So will you be willing to share that story of yours so maybe you can inspire some Albanian people as well, some Albanian entrepreneurs? And this is why I selected that topic about the passion and how you can recognize yours through the action. And by the way, your hands in the air, showing that you are working in the field of something that you are passionate about, might change till the end of the presentation, so let's follow up. I will like to bring you back in my childhood, in my teenage years, when my father, who used to do a construction business, was bringing me with him to a lot of different technical fairs. You can imagine those technical fairs are like big neighborhoods with big buildings filled with different kind of technology, a lot of booths, stands, people advertising different stuff. I was only about 14, 15 years old. For me, that was a wow moment, seeing so many companies advertising their experience, their professionalism, their activities, their services was fascinating for me. Of course, at the end of each day, my arms became like at least 10 centimeters taller because I was bringing all the goodie bags filled with advertisement materials, magazines, and so on, all around the fairs. But really, that was an amazing moment for me, and I somehow get passionate about it. These fairs and these visits of mine to those fairs actually gave me two incredible lessons. First lesson, I really learned how to be organized and pile a lot of different advertisement materials when we get back in our office, in my father's office. But the second lesson is that it's really fascinating when there is a place where people can connect, network, exchange ideas, and support each other, like a thing that we are here today for. And you're gonna say, yeah, this is one of those lucky stories when the guy found out his passion on an early age, only 15 years old. But no, if it was like this was going to be my last slide, not my first slide. So we continue further. My professional life started when I joined my father's company a few years ago in 2026. And actually that, as I told you, was a construction business in which I spent around 6 years, 6 years, and I wasn't happy in it. To be honest, I liked the work. I liked to be surrounded by great guys, professional guys. I actually started education, and I graduated a technical education just because maybe my father forced me a little bit, but then I liked the work so much that I decided that I want to be so professional that I have an engineering degree in that field, but it was not my passion. And also, in the field of construction, you you see a lot of bad things like maybe a little bit of corruption. And when I say a little bit, it's just because I don't want to see that to say that you see a lot of corruption in the construction, but things that didn't relate to my nature and to my beliefs and everything that I am. So fast forward to 2011, when actually was the big international financial crisis, if you remember it. It was a moment that I needed to switch to something else because our business was not going very well, and we were supposed to somehow split, and my father to continue his business, and I start something new. So this is when I can say it was a moment for me to discover e-commerce. I had no idea what is a marketplace. I had no idea what is a marketing, PPC, CPC, all those terms. I didn't know anything about those stuff, but somehow I ended up selling accessories for mobile devices through online platform. And it turned out to be an interesting thing for me. I started learning marketing. I started learning how to use Google Analytics, all kind of different tools, how to put advertisement on social media, and so on and so on. And we were doing great. I say we were doing great because I had a partner at that moment, a friend of mine from the childhood. And we were selling through physical stores, so we were applying an omni-channel model, physical stores, online, marketplace platforms, pretty much everywhere where we can be. And that gave me another spark, if I can call it that way. That showed me a completely different world, which I started liking. Completely different from what I have seen so far in the construction business, completely new for my mind and mindset, and I started liking. But it was not enough. It was not something that can go super big. It was not something that actually connects me with a lot of people. It was not serving the needs I had at this moment. So a few years later, being very well connected in the field of e-commerce, digital marketing, connected with a lot of platforms and people from mainly in Bulgaria and Romania. I have to say that I live in Ruse. Ruse is a border city with Romania in Bulgaria, and this is why that gives me the opportunity to be well connected at the Romanian market as well. So I decided to start a little event thing. In the beginning, gathering just some people from the field, some platforms, some marketing guys, and to start exchanging ideas and to start, changing know-how and experience about e-commerce and digital marketing. When I say started something small, we really started with small steps. I remember the very first, I will go to the next one, going regional, because I remember the very first kind of international event, which was called Sell Successfully in Romania. We were bringing speakers and people with know-how how Bulgarian businesses should perform e-commerce in Romania. And it happened to be an amazing event. When I say small, you can imagine that there were only 62 people in the room. But because the business model, and probably based on my experience from the previous works that I had, we decided to have a follow-up call and to check those guys if they did any steps in Romania, if they actually followed some of the advices our speakers gave. And it happened to be that more than 40 of those companies that participated our first event, So Successfully in Romania, are actually doing something in Romania, and they're already making some steps and sales or creating some partnerships there. So that gives us, the feeling that we are on the right path and we should continue doing those events. Fast forward 3 years later, in 2019, 3 editions of How to Sell Successfully in Romania, a new edition called Sell Successfully in Romania and Greece, which became a truly international event, and it gives us the recognition as an organization that is doing something significantly in our region. Of course, only for the markets of Greece, Bulgaria, and Romania, but still something really cool that helps businesses grow and help businesses go to new markets. In that same moment, I decided to go all in on events. We actually published a book called Add to Cart. It's a book about e-commerce, and if I'm seeing correctly, two of the guys participating in the book are over there, because it's a book that includes interview type of articles with different experts from the field of digital marketing, e-commerce, sales, and so on and so on. And they're giving tips and advices how people should do e-commerce. And as I told you, I decided to go all in that business with events, promoting the book, promoting the e-commerce knowledge in general. And you know what happened in 2020, right? So we were closed, basically. Everything was shut down. And I remember clearly that my wife asked me, and they shut the whole world in just one Friday, right? You remember this, right? How many of you remember the shutting down in Friday? And my wife asked me, but you planned like 11 events, right? And promotion of the book, and you went all in with the new business only with events, because we already closed the selling of accessories for mobile devices. And I said, yeah, we are all in with the event thing. And she said, okay, but there are no more events. What are you going to do? And I said, well, Monday is far away. We will think about it. I mean, something will come up as an idea. Then Saturday she came again and she was like, what are you going to do? They're not reopening. Obviously, they're going to keep us closed for quite some time. I said, well, Monday is far away. Sunday, same conversation. And then Monday, and I forgot to tell you something, that for the very first time in my business, I decided to take advance payment from all the partners that were supporting our business, because when you do events, most of the money are coming from partners and sponsors, as we can see some of the logos around. So I decided to take all the money in advance. And, on Monday, I had a pretty rough job to do. I needed to call those guys and say, well, guys, events are not happening, so either I should give you the money back, or maybe we have to find another solution. And I'm not a person that calls other people with problems. I usually call with solutions. And I know how, thank you. And I know how these companies work. They have this amount of money budgeted for that thing. And if you give them a call and you say, I have to give you those money back, it's an even bigger problem, because they have to find a solution and they have to explain, all the way up to the CEO why the money are back and whatever. So I decided, okay, guys, we are switching to something new. We are pivoting. We are going to keep creating content, and we're going to keep executing conferences, but they will be online conferences. This is when actually our YouTube channel grew, and since there were some of the speakers today on stage that were mentioning me, I have to mention here Alex, because he's talking about YouTube. And this is when our YouTube channel grew. Our following base grew significantly. And to be honest, till that moment, I was not very into creating content. Honestly, I was creating just a little bit of it, mainly static photos, posts on social media, but not videos, and especially not long type terms of videos posting around. And when I say that pivoting through crisis means a lot to us, we definitely understood how content works, especially for us, and how it brings attention, it gathers people around the cause, and so on and so on. Fast forward to 2023, when COVID was not a thing anymore, we decided to bring back our international project, and we decided to rename it from Sales Successfully in Romania and Greece to Balkan eCommerce Summit. Balkan eCommerce Summit went beyond our expectations in 2023. We were expecting around 400 people from, let's say, Greece, Romania, maybe one or two Serbian guys, but we managed to bring 560 people from 12 markets. It was amazing at that moment, and the amount and the type of feedback that we were receiving was truly amazing. People were so happy with it, and they were asking me, right, in the following week, there were already questions like when is the next one and how we can be involved with it. So this is when we decided to make like a bold breakthrough. We decided to think much bigger, and not many of the people in this room participated in 2024, but we decided to take a risk and rent one of the largest venues in Bulgaria. It's a sports arena. And by the way, Balkan eCommerce Summit is a thing that it's not just a regular conference. It usually has several stages, a big expo area, so kind of a thing that relates to the dream and to the wow moment that I have had in my childhood going to these big fairs. A lot of speakers, a lot of people from around the world. So taking a risk, renting one of the largest venues, we started our campaign, and we thought that we should start our campaign early enough in January, when the event is beginning of April, so three and a half months in advance, in order to have a huge wave of information going around. And yes, for the very first time, we decided, okay, why just making an event where people come, they feel okay, they exchange contacts and so on and so on. Why not creating an experience for them? Because you know what I understood during the years of my work, and with all the meetings and all the information, and with pretty much every email, it doesn't matter. Actually, it matters, but it matters how much of a value you provide to someone, but it matters more how the person feels when the conversation is over, when he reads your email, when he leaves the venue, and all the other things that you do. So experience. This is what we learned in 2024, that we have to provide experience for our guests, for our attendees. So in 2025, this year, we decided to go for 2025, we decided that we will go truly international. We extended the period of our communication campaign to more than 6 months. And we actually emphasize everything that we saw that works for us in 2024 on the highest possible level. And actually in that moment was like a moment of realization for me that I'm actually working on something that looks pretty familiar to what what was seeded in my brain when I was in my teenage years. So I started visioning Balkan eCommerce Summit as a project that brings together people, speakers, exhibitors, and companies from all around the world, because in 2025 we had more than 23 countries represented in Sofia. And actually, it can be not just one venue of, let's say, 4,000 square meters, but it can be like a whole neighborhood, one of those big fairs that is becoming a digital world presented in one same place physically for a huge networking, content, and value type of event. Honestly, by doing it, I understand that I'm passionate about running the whole project, being in touch with my marketing team who is creating amazing stuff, communicating the event through the whole campaign, dealing with subcontractors, dealing with all kinds of systems that for ticketing, for managing the crowd during the event, and all this stuff. And to be honest, one of the best moments that an event organizer can have, and most probably the AllWeb organizers will confirm this, is you worked for several months and you reach, the night before the event, and you start seeing your digital work becomes physical, like all the chairs, the computers on the backside, the cameras, the lighting, the screen, the speakers, this monitor, everything becomes like a final product. And the next morning, the crowd comes in, and it's a whole new world. Actually, it's a whole new universe you created for several months that happens just in a day or two. And what's most importantly for me is that my job, and this is what I'm passionate about, my job is creating value. Value for the people that are renting the booths, value for the speakers that are coming. Usually they represent different types of companies, and usually they find clients. Value for all the attendees that collect business cards, meaning collect a lot of new contacts. They listen to a lot of interesting presentations. They have great experience because, by the way, we have a party that is already iconic for everybody that participates there. So it creates huge value. So I'm not just doing something that I'm passionate about, but I'm constantly working in win-win environment, win-win situation that brings value and win for everyone. So before I ask you the closing question, I would like to sum up and give you like a little advice, hopefully that for some of you will be valuable, how to see your passion and try to find it in your life. Go back in your childhood or early life. Try to remember what was the one thing in your life that gave you that wow moment. Like maybe you participated a concert, maybe you went to a shop and you like how people are putting everything on the shelves. It doesn't matter. Everybody is different and they all have different passions. Test in reality, because as you saw, maybe if I had my imagination coach, I was going to be able to find out my passion when I was 15, but obviously I needed almost 30 years to find out that it's a thing that was buried in my soul and my mind at some point, and I needed to dig it up. And last but not least, ensure impact. Ensure impact through all the communication that you do, like what we saw with our lovely Barbie here, Barbara. And I promised to mention everybody that mentioned me today on stage, and you told that I forgot you, right? So ensure you have an impact through your communication, through everything that you do, and with the value that you create for the others. So here is my question, the final question, and I have a challenge for everybody here. How many of you are actually still thinking that they're in their passion work, or they might find a new one? How many of you are still thinking that they are working in the zone of their passion? Okay, and how many of you are thinking that you might be in the wrong work and might need to search for a new one? Okay. Okay. With my last slide, I would like to you to take your phones out, and I have a little challenge. Let's find through action what is your passion. You will find out a QR code for my LinkedIn account. First of all, you can follow me. That's clear. But second of all, if you message me in the following 7 days and you tell me, Nikola, I'm super passionate about whatever, your topic, and I want to be on the stage of Balkan eCommerce Summit in 2026, end of April, I will make a little interview with you. And if I really see that you are passionate about your work and you are into working about further develop your passion, I will give you a slot on one of our stages end of April. Thank you.